cloud, and I'm gonna hit record on here.
That's a different mic, ain't it?
It's the same mic, but it's a different mic. Same mic, same manufacturer.
You took it out of the harness.
No, the other one is still in the harness. It's just pointed at the computer. It's pointed at the speaker, so it's picking you up better now.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I said you sound great. So I give it to the guy. I'll edit all this out. So, like I said, you eating the apple.
You don't know how to edit it yourself?
Yeah, I do know how to edit it myself. The sound stuff, I do that with GarageBand. So yeah, and I test it with Audacity, but that's what I'm doing all this for, to start testing everything. So we're recording on the Zoom call, and we are recording on the Zoom recorder now.
I can't eat my pear?
You can eat whatever you want to. You guessed. You can do what you want to do. So what I usually do, even before and when I put this out, I'll do a pre-talk and I'll just kind of do a mini monologue. But starting from right now, I just talk about you. I lead up to you. So I'll say, this is Sever Henderson again with another episode of Department3C Presents podcast. So this episode is with my BFF, my super BFF. Every other episode I have people on, I say, oh, this is my friend, this is my friend, this is my friend. Well, this is like my second friend ever in the history of life, the second person I ever met. It's my good friend, Troy Berry. So I won't sit around and we won't just have a friend meet on the podcast. We'll actually talk about some stuff. Troy is very knowledgeable in a lot of different subjects, a lot of different areas. He is a political science major when he went to school, when he went off to college and he went to school. Troy's a union worker. He has a lot of issues that he talks about. In that case, he's very politically sound, and I look to him for stuff that I don't know sometimes. He knows a lot. Sports wise, that's another topic we want to talk about on here that we're going to talk about on our show. And Troy also has a podcast of his own. It's called Everything Here, but he only did a couple episodes. I'm trying to push him to keep it up and keep putting those episodes out. So hopefully this is the spark that gets him going. In addition to that, Troy, his presence online is pretty good and pretty awesome as well. TMZ reached out to him, asked him to come be on for the give what you got to say segment of the show. So that's pretty awesome. So he's still waiting around to do that and take over the show. They need another brother in the spot, so why not him?
Indeed.
So that's all the stuff we're gonna talk about. Like I said, it won't just be a friendly meeting. We want to have everybody else in on the conversation with us. Like I said, I've known Troy forever. This is the second person I actually remember meeting as a and just a quick story behind that. Our mutual friend Doug lived right across the street. Doug came over and got me. He said, hey, it's another kid over here. Let's go talk to him. I was like, okay. We go over there and talk to him. This little boy standing in the garage, and it's snow because we in Cleveland. It's snow just falling, just one house over. And we ain't supposed to cross the street, but we crossed the street. Well, Doug did anything he wanted to do. I wasn't supposed to cross the street, but I crossed the street anyway. Went over there. I said, what's your name? Troy Berry. I said, what? Troy Berry. I'm like, this is the first person. Well, he only the second person I met, but I never met anybody that introduced themselves with their first and their last name. Usually they just say I'm whatever, I'm whoever.
You didn't think that at that young of an age. You just add that on now.
No, I when I tell this story to everybody, I thought that I'm like, who says their name first and last name off top? So
you know what's funny now? I don't even like people to say my last name. I say don't say my whole government. Just say Troy.
Just say Troy. So yeah. So Troy Berry, everybody.
Yo. Hello. Happy to be on Severance program. Like he said, I do have a political science degree. I try to know a little about a lot. Like a lot of people like to say, well, I know this, or do you know that? No, I don't know that. And I try to be that person that when somebody asks me that, I can say, well, yeah, what you need to know about that, or yeah, I know a little bit about that. So yeah, he did a pretty good introduction, and I'm just here helping him start his new venture, and I'm gonna just follow his lead, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so yeah, just getting some reps up. So, like you said, you know about politics, you know a little bit about a lot, kind of that jack of all trades. That's kind of the mold that we both in, you know. But like I said, politics wise, sometimes you like I said, well, on Twitter and everything else, you surpass what I know going on. So we know where we're at country wise. This is what you hit on a lot. Give me just a basic overall view. And of course, I forgot to say you're in the great state of Ohio. My other guests come on, I ask them about what's going on with COVID in the area. Can you give me a little bit of information about what's going on with the coronavirus and COVID and where you live?
You know, I actually, I was on the interwebs today, and I seen that Ohio had its highest number of cases either yesterday or today since the outbreak began. I think it was like over 1,700. I think it was yesterday, and the governor issued another order, or said he was thinking about an order to where no more alcohol will be served after 10 p.m.
Okay.
That's supposed to be something that's about to start soon, or he's thinking about doing. And like when the outbreak began, they had passed a law to where you could take drinks, alcoholic drinks, from restaurants, and it was at a minimum of 2. They upped it to 3. So
now, when you take them, just take them out on the sidewalk, or take them like.
No, you can take them in your car and take them home.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is so crazy. It's almost like they encourage you to drink in your car, because who ain't gonna take a couple of sips while they driving?
Yeah, open
container, but no open container. That's crazy.
You gotta have that discipline if you gonna take it and go. But hey,
ain't nobody that disciplined. Somebody go take a sip.
I understand. So we had some issues here, and they're like shutting stuff down and going back and going forth. A couple of bars got closed, and aren't allowed to serve anymore. And like different states have different rules. Like New Orleans, you down there, you just drinking out on the street all day. Ohio, obviously, that's not something people can do or people are encouraged to do.
Right.
As far as the cases going up, do you see anything in sight to where this is going to end, or how you feel like it's going to go?
I mean, it's just like everything that's been said on TV, that's been said on the radio, that's been said on social media. If people don't wear their mask, people don't social distance, I mean, it's going to stay around for as long as it wants to be here. Mm-hmm. Because it's a virus, and most virus replicate itself, and the viruses want you to be ignorant. Viruses love ignorance. Viruses love people to be
ignorance.
Yeah, thrive on ignorance. It love for people to be arrogant. Like, you ain't gonna get me, virus. Oh really? Okay. And as long as we are being arrogant and ignorant about it, it loves it, and it's going to be here. Yeah. But with our flu season coming up too, like we about a couple weeks away from the start of flu season, especially in like the Midwest and areas that are more cold, the Northeast mountains. So yeah, it don't look good.
That's what. Well, when this all first started, that's exactly what I was saying. I'm like, I don't think we're gonna be out until next spring, just because the fact that by the time calms down is going to be around September, October. September, October is when they start telling you to get your flu shot again and get ready. So all it's going to amp up and just going to keep going on. Ohio was at the forefront when it first started. Ohio was doing an outstanding job. They were, people, the other states were looking to Ohio like, hey, Ohio, you're doing so great. What y'all doing? Let us try and copy it. What happened between then and now?
It's just
between then and now.
It's just like every other state that, moved too quickly. Even though we started out, we led the pack, us along with Washington, Michigan, and California and New York.
Mm-hmm.
But we were the first state to like take drastic measures. Because I remember I was out. It was a Sunday. I think it was the Sunday before the NCAA tournament. The games were going to start, and Mike DeWine canceled the tournament in Ohio. And we had Dayton, and we also was going to have games in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the games were going to be in Cleveland. I think the maybe the second or third round. I can't remember exactly now, but he canceled that, and then he closed all the bars.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohio was the first state to do that. And as the virus went on or whatever, and time passed, just like everybody else, we began to open up slowly. And again, like I said earlier, and like you said as well, the virus loves ignorance. So now the virus is back out here, just like everywhere else. Other than Michigan probably doing the best right now.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, even Washington and Massachusetts, they were the ones that, along with Ohio and the other states that I already named, they were the ones that jumped on it the quickest, and they're doing good. And relatively speaking, when you take the size of Ohio into thought, the cases are going up, but it's not as bad as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't think the governor has taken drastic measures, like down in Florida, like down in South Beach, ain't no bars open. Out in California, bars aren't open. Our bars are still open. He's just placing more restrictions on the bars. So, yeah, it's bad, but it's not as bad as it could be, relatively speaking.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. It could always be worse. So, and like country-wise, we aren't doing the best either. I just saw, as of the recording today, one of the things, like I said, I didn't know. I saw Herman Cain passed away, and he was like at the rally, like, no mask for life. Yes, we out here. And then next thing you know, this gentleman passes away, which sucks. That you die off of ignorance. You also have a lot of thoughts and ideas about our current commander-in-chief. What do you think of his handling? Like I said, if we just gonna talk politics, what do you think of his handling of the whole situation?
Can I cuss?
Yes, I have the E on here. I don't really cuss that much, like on Facebook posts, but when it's me, yeah, it's just a whole different.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
what to say?
All right, well, he's an idiot. He's a moron. He's done an absolutely horrid job. Like when you think about the rest of the world, it's ridiculous. Like, America's supposed to be the best at everything, the best at this, the best at that, the number one superpower. We supposedly have the best medical and hospital system, which I do believe. But a leader is supposed to lead. If a leader isn't leading in a way to protect the people, but he's leading to protect himself, the people bear the burden of that. And that's why we over 5 million cases and over 150,000 dead. Like I posted the other day on my Facebook account, the next closest country to us, I think, was Brazil. And I think they were at like 80,000. And if you look at 80,000 dead. And when you look at the projections of our country, we gonna be over 160, maybe this time next week.
Okay.
And no one can be told that they've done a good job if 150,000 of their citizens have died from a virus, and any other country in the world is nowhere even close.
Right.
Even the country where the virus started,
Right. Well,
China.
yeah, I saw one thing you said. They said they probably lying because you know what kind of.
Well, yeah, you know how they get down, but yeah.
But even still, right where it started, because I remember when it first started, they like built those hospitals in no time flat. Like you could, they had the camera out there, sped up
Right.
the video, and just was building hospitals and getting stuff done, and it just everywhere else. He called everybody else shithole countries, and it like we the shithole country now.
Yeah, like you want to know what it is. I think, and I really believe this, and to an extent I do, but I think if it wasn't an election year, he would have jumped on this faster, and his administration would have paid more attention to it. Now you say, well, what kind of thinking is that?
Yeah, because I yeah.
Yeah, like the way I look at it, like he don't want, like, since it's an election year, he don't want the virus to be his virus. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is just a virus from China. This is just a virus from China. That's why he called it the China virus, or he tried to call it the Kung flu and all that other nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's trying, and it's kind of working with its base, because if you go across the interwebs and across social media, you see all these fools lining up exactly with what he's saying. So with this virus killing so many people, and him being able to say, "Oh, look, it came from China. It's not my fault." You know what I'm saying? I think it's a hands off. It ain't my problem. It's a problem that we all have. Now, if it wasn't an election year, it's like, look, hey, the election is coming next year or in 2 years. We got to get this under control, or everybody go blame me, which we are doing, the same people anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The same people are blaming him. The insane people, himself included, are blaming China. When at the end of the day, the rest of the world looking at us like, hey, this is the American virus now.
Yeah, now, right.
Because let me say this too, then I'll let you get back in. Like the thing about it, like look at the rest of the world. Like look what has happened all around us. We're encapsulated right now. We can't go to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
We can't go to we can't go to Europe. We can't go to Canada.
Right.
And other countries can enter all these states.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not say these countries, but the greatest country on earth can't, because we're so infected. Right. It's a joke. So no, he's done an absolutely terrible fucking job, and he need to be smacked for it.
Well, I like how you always say you need to resign. I'm like, yeah, right. You wishing for stuff that's just not gonna happen. But hey, a wish is a wish. That's what it is. Well, what a Herman I can't remember his name. The coach that used to coach
Herman Edwards.
Herman Edwards, yeah. What do you say? A goal without a plan is a wish. So you just wishing. I mean, well, we do have a plan as American, as people. People want to vote and get out and change the election, change the tide around. But my question to that is, we live in this is where I say you can answer questions for me that I don't fully know the answer why all the time. But we live in a country that only has a two-party system. I mean, other parties can run, but they don't get like a fair shot or a real shake at it. I know a lot of people say they don't want Trump, they don't want Biden, they are supporting a Green Party individual or independent person or anything like that. What are your thoughts about the two-party system? And like I said, we don't have a plan other than these two people. What do you see as far as that goes?
Well, like I always feel like America at least right now, is I consider America to be a liberal country. What do I mean when I say that? Everybody, you know, everybody wants to be free and have their thoughts heard. Everybody wants to have fun. Everybody wants to not be constrained uh, by rules, laws, and thoughts.
Okay.
Now, as far as why is it a two-party system? I mean, Americans are pretty much very much alike. So it's almost like a coin. Like there's no three-sided coins.
No.
You know what I'm saying? There's every side, every coin, every piece of paper, a dollar bill, anything. Is you got one side, then you got the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not alone in that. A lot of other countries are pretty much two-party systems as well. There's not enough difference of thought to have a third-party system, because a third party, because even that third party draws ideals from the other two parties.
Right.
So they try to put themselves in the middle. It's
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying, a older, like, I think about it like children. You got the oldest, then you got the middle, then you got the youngest. You know what I'm saying? What do kids who say they come from a five number family, what do the one in the middle always say?
That the older ones got everything and the middle one beat them up.
And I feel left out. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. The third party is always going to be left out or kind of ignored. But we can make the two-party system work. We just got to, we got to be smart with it. Because in a way, and I'm gonna say this, and this might sound crazy, but think on this a bit. We actually do have a third party right now.
Okay, well, give it to me. How? Give it to me.
The third party are the Trumpers. You got Democrats.
That actually makes sense.
You got conservatives, then you got Trumpers.
You have true conservatives,
Right.
Your liberals, right, and then you have Trumpers that, like, no matter what this dude say, they with it.
Absolutely. He could, like he said, he could go into the middle of Fifth Avenue and blow somebody's head off, and they'll clap rather than be.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, what is this guy doing?
Right.
So yeah, in a way, we do have three parties right now.
I was trying to find some way to disagree with you, but yeah, that's a great point, and I understand where you're coming from. Because, like, both of our jobs, and I'm not trying to offend anybody that wants to vote for Donald Trump. That's totally your prerogative. That's why we're in America. But I don't understand, and I still have yet to understand. Nobody's given me an answer why you support somebody that has nothing, that wants nothing to do with you and your movement. So, my show, I'm a fireman. I'm talking to not just firemen. I'm talking to police officers. I'm talking to paramedics. I'm talking to first responders, and of course, not all the time, but we have a union. You're a union worker also as well, and
Local 1005.
There you go. Not to say Joe is, behind us and gonna give us all this dough and get us going or anything, but somebody who doesn't even come from working, and then the other excuses I hear, he's gonna run the country like a business, but all these businesses he's ran has filed bankruptcy and not failed, but I mean he's just living off of a name. So
right.
What I'm saying is I don't understand how you support somebody. I see it. And I still talk to them. We have conversations. That's what I encourage. I'm not mad or anything. And you have those same people. What do you get from those people that support a person that doesn't even know what real work is?
Well, like you said, you know what I'm saying? They always say, well, he's a businessman, and I don't want a politician. We've had enough politicians. And you know what I'm saying? To an extent, I do agree with that. Because, I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, I always knew, like back when he was running against Hillary, I had a feeling that, Trump would win because, not a feeling, I knew he was going to win because,
I got to
person,
you did call it. I said nah, but you did call it.
Like as a person that lives in this country and that, works with a smorgasbord of different type of people, you can see it building. Now, we also, probably still got that Russia stuff, but who knows about that, but whatever. But from everything I've read, they wasn't ever able to get in and change the vote tallies. But I always felt that he would win because this country wasn't ready to go from a black man running the country to a woman running the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like we like to think we're that evolved. We're not.
Yeah.
America, and when I say we, I mean America. I'm not evolved. I can do that. I don't care because I actually think women deserve to be in higher positions because, most women run households.
Right.
If they can run a household, if they can go to college and become, legislators, they can become senators, become judges, all that different stuff. Why can't they become president like a man can? It's all the same thing. But getting back to your point, the thing with people that support Trump, they support him based on them being Republicans. They say, well, he's a Republican and I align with the Republican, platform. Mm-hmm. But in a lot of cases, Trump don't even align with the Republican platform.
Yeah.
And Trump is a con man, and he's, saying that he believes in all this stuff, but he's on record saying the exact opposite back in the day.
Exactly.
But now he's going to say what he wants people to hear, and what people want to hear is say, oh, he's a Republican. That's my guy. No, he's not. Trump is Trump. Trump ain't a Republican. Trump ain't a Democrat. Trump ain't an independent. Trump is Trump.
Trump is Trump number one. That's right. He goes after the people. He's real big on loyalty. When he went to the other countries, the communist countries, and Americans hate commies. But he go to them communist countries and say, yeah, they was all bound down. I kind of like that. They just skip right past that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course, yeah. Like he's talked about wanting to be in office forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't what we're about. That's what Vladimir Putin just basically did, made himself president for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying?
They say he's the richest person in the world, but nobody knows because
nobody knows it. Right.
He has money all over the place, and
right.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having money all over the place. I don't need to have my face on the dollar just to know it's mine. But
I wouldn't want to have money all over the place and not be able to enjoy it. That dude never looks happy other than when he's riding a horse with a shirt on.
Yeah, he always look mad. They got a lot of stuff going on. That's a whole episode within itself.
Right.
So this isn't meant to be to beat Trump up. Like I said, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit.
No, we don't need to beat him up. He beat himself up enough for us to just sit back and watch and just talk about it.
Well, that kind of brings me to the last question I wanted to ask you about that. So before you called it, and you were right, and I'm like, he ain't gonna win. He's just hanging around doing, just right. Messing everything up. What do you think is gonna happen this time around?
Well, I'm like 99% that he gone.
Okay.
I mean, it's inevitable. That's why he's swinging and punching and kicking and clawing and scratching so hard because I've always had a love of politics, and I kind of remember when Reagan was president, but for the most part, I can go back to when the first Bush was president. Mm-hmm. I remember his administration. I definitely remember Clinton and the second Bush and Obama. This is the worst I've seen this country, other than at the end of the second Bush, mm-hmm. when we were in the Great Recession.
Yep.
2008, 2009.
Yep.
But, you know, when you take into coronavirus alone, and the coronavirus started this, but when you look at the unemployment numbers, when you look at the way the debt is rising and how the deficit is, and then those numbers came out today about the GDP, and it's at the lowest rate recorded ever in the history of our country during the second quarter.
That was my next question. What was the numbers?
I think it was 30 the 36%. We lost 36% of our GDP during the second quarter. Pretty sure that's what it was. But and then when you look at all the protests and the ignorance, just the way he speaks, he can't talk properly. He can't read.
Yeah.
He drags his legs. He looked like an Oompa Loompa with all that orange makeup that he wears. He
has a lot of
you never really see his wife with him. He doesn't look like a leader.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's like I was saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? Americans are pretty much all alike. And we know what it's supposed to look like. We know what a president is supposed to look like. And at one point, you know, a lot of people thought, well, that's what he looks like, what a president is. But as time has went on and you've seen the failure of leadership, and you know, even Republicans, I'm a Democrat, but even Republicans, they see that he's not a leader. They know what leadership's supposed to look like. When America is just a ship out there just floating along, nobody wants that because we know what we're supposed to be. And
yes,
even conservatives see that he ain't it.
Right.
I think he's going to lose bad. I think he's going to lose states that Republicans haven't lost in
years,
in a long time.
Ever probably since they switched Democrat Republican.
But let me add something else to that. Like I was talking about how you got Trumpers and then you got liberals and conservatives. There's this group on Twitter. It's called the Lincoln Project. They call themselves Never Trumpers. They're former Republicans that aren't necessarily Democrats, but they want to see the country be what we're supposed to be rather than what we are right now. It's the Lincoln Project. I know you on Twitter as well. You get a chance, go on there and follow them. They post some interesting stuff.
I will go check them out. That sounds kind of like the libertarian movement. I remember I was keeping up with them for a while, but they were just like a different form of Republican. I mean, they were still looking for small government and things like that. And, you know, it was real cool. But eventually, I don't see as much from them as I used to around right after Trump had won. I saw a lot of libertarian stuff. Now, not as much anymore, but I could just be looking in the right places.
They're still out there. They're just not as vocal anymore.
But what I was going to say, you was talking about how he looks and everything, and I keep saying it's going to be the last thing, but then I keep remembering stuff. I had a guy, he said, yeah, when Obama talked, he talked great. I'd vote for him no matter what he said. But then he took the Constitution and wiped his ass with it. Trump, he don't talk that good, but he supports all our stuff and upholds all our stuff. And like here in Chicago, they sent the federal police here, and some people was on it, other people was not about that. And it's just when he does stuff, it just doesn't line up with what he says. It's like you said, he kicking and clawing, and he just trying to do whatever. He wants to get at the wall and seeing which noodle stick. So like I said, it's not a beat him up podcast, so I had to put the timestamp for everybody that don't want to hear that. But that's the thing that, you know, conversations, even if you don't like what somebody has to say, at least in my opinion, you should listen to or hear what they have to say. I think for myself personally, one of the things I'm good at is seeing stuff from other people's sides. And when I don't see something from their side, I ask why. Like I said, unless we like super balling and getting all the tax breaks, I just don't understand why. But that's that.
Right.
Another one of our big connections and how we are best friends is sports. Sports saved my life. I was when I was younger in a bad spot in a bad place, and just coming outside and playing like got me all the way together. So we've been playing together. We've been playing everything: football, basketball, baseball in the street, breaking windows with balls, tennis balls,
Any bounce.
right? Hooping in the backyard,
Hoop it up.
all kind of stuff. We've been doing that forever. And I think the NBA starts back tonight, right? In the bubble.
Yeah.
So our team isn't in it, but give me a little bit of what you think is going to happen with this whole bubble situation. Like just basic. Who you got for MVP? Who you got going to the finals? You ain't got to get super in depth.
MVP. Yeah, you know what? I actually think that Giannis should be the MVP again. Like, while when the season was still active, before the shutdown. I mean, he was doing his thing. Like, I know a lot of people say LeBron, but and at his age, LeBron probably is deserving because of his, his production from the season. I think he led the league in assists.
Yep, he was at 10.
Right, 10. So yeah, I like that. I like, it's kind of a toss up right now. Like I think you would be a fool to try to pick a champion right now. It's way too early.
Me too. It's too early. It's like a reset. It's like a whole new.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole new season.
Yeah. So
and, my rookie of the year, I like John Morant. I think he's far and away the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was talking to my dude at work. I'm like, you know what? This is about to be so dope because this is just going to be straight basketball.
Yeah.
Bring your squad, I bring my squad, and we go get it in. Because there ain't no home court advantage, ain't no going on the road.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
This is like
just straight basketball.
It's like hoop it up.
Right. Or you know what I'm saying? It's like if you go to the park and you take your 5.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Who gonna stay on the court the longest? Who gonna get us off? And that's that's kind of what this reminds me of. I think it's dope.
It is. And let me explain kind of what Hoop It Up is for people around the country who don't know or wasn't around. It was a 3-on-3 word. Forgot about it. It was a 3-on-3 tournament that we had here in Cleveland. They used to go around pretty much on the East Coast. I know they went to New York, I think, Detroit. I'm pretty sure they came to Chicago too, but they went everywhere. Just half court, 3-on-3. Make them give them. Who we go to 21? They had
16.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the upper division went that high, but they had little refs on the side. Win by 2 for sure. I remember that.
Yeah, win by 2.
And you just were playing in a tournament. So that was in our young days. That's what before we could even drive, we used to just go to Hoop It Up. We played with each other. We never played against each other. We was always on the same team. But we played against some of our other buddies that are out there. And when we played with them, like when we took our 5 to the court, we was the shortest dudes ever. But them 2 dudes could shoot. And like Dez could shoot. Demond was athletic as hell. I just played D. You did a little bit of everything. Low grab rebounds. He played D, and we would just win forever. So
right.
That was always fun. But that's what Hoop It Up was. Hoop It Up is. It'd be nice if it came back. We'd be in the old man league now.
Yeah. Hey, but one other thing, like you got to give Adam Silver credit for how he didn't encapsulated the NBA down there in that bubble, because they've had no positive tests since I think it's been like maybe 3 weeks now, no positive tests. Like he did a great job with that. I think he's the best commissioner in sports. And you want to know why he's probably the best commissioner in sports? Because he actually listens to his players.
Yeah, I agree. Well, he was like the backup. He's been in the NBA for a long time, and ain't like he just got there and like, hey,
Right.
I'm here, do what I say. But no, when they say something, he says he actually listens, like you said. So
yeah, it's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? Because the best way to be successful at anything is to bring everybody in and try to make it work. You know what I'm saying?
right, because when you have that divisiveness, ain't nobody gonna work with you if you just everything they say you just down and down and down it. NFL has that problem. They have their contract issues, but their team structure is so different. They got those big rosters, and then if they even talk about going on strike, some of the dudes can't even afford to make it for the next couple of weeks because they didn't outlive their lifestyle at a certain point. So
I never understand that, dude. I was on strike, the UAW strike for 6 weeks. And I don't make nowhere near as much money as an NFL player.
As the bottom player.
Right. Exactly. Like they must live so high over their means that it's ridiculous. To be a practice squad player should be able to, go on strike for a couple of months. But they always say, well, we can't afford a strike because the players don't have the money. I think that's nonsense.
Yeah. Well, we were young once too, and I mean, you making that much money and you in your 20s. It's a lot of stuff that even now I can think to waste some money on. But
yeah, I mean that's all of it.
Your point is well taken. Right, it should be a way that that they not just out here messed up. But again, that's a whole big conversation. Because I mean, you got your parents, you got a smart family of people you can trust and people you can go to, say, hey, really hold some of this dough. So
right, absolutely.
I mean, and then you got various accounts. You got all kind of investments that you can go into that's not gonna hurt you, not gonna mess you up. But like I said,
right. What I remember one time I was on Twitter and I got into a back and forth with Richard Sherman about how bad their union is and how they need to buckle up and strap in and make sure their players are able to go on strike. Like Richard Sherman, like the football, the NFL player, like I got into a back and forth with him. I think he played for the 49ers now.
Play for 49ers now, yep.
Yeah, but I got into a back and forth with him about how weak their union is and how if they keep bending over for the owners, they go keep getting stroked.
What do you say? What was his thing?
He was like, well, you just don't know. You just don't understand. I'm like, dude, I'm in a union too. A union is a union. We supposed to look out for each other. We supposed to educate each other. So if we do got to go out, we can go out and stand tall together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he just was saying, like, well, a lot of these younger players can't do that. I'm like, well, they make more money than me. I can go on strike. Why can't they?
Yeah. So
I don't make. I mean, I wish. Huh?
He took the time to talk to you, make me understand.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. It was about I had about 6 tweets. He had about 4. So it's just a little back and forth.
Okay. Well, hey, it counts. So, so you gave us your NBA predictions. We were talking about football. Let's talk a little bit about football. What do you think what's going to happen with the upcoming season? No winners or anything. Do you think we're even going to have football?
Yeah, I think they're going to play because, I mean, like I was listening to the Browns head coach press conference today, and he said something that I've been saying to people. It's like, look, like even with my job, like we have a bubble at work. You can only go in one way when you come in the morning and when you go out for lunch. You can only come in one way. Like when we come in, we get our temperature scanned. We got to put a mask on. We got to clean our hands off. That's coming in to work in the morning. And when we go out, we can only go out one way. Well, there's two ways you can go out. But when you come back in from lunch, you have to go back in the way that you came in. You don't have to go get your temperature scan and all that again, but you have to go back in through that same way you came in.
Right.
So we create our own bubble at work, and that's what he was talking about as far as the Browns facility goes. Like, we have our bubble, is what he said. We have our bubble inside the facility, but then he said something that I've been saying. When you leave that bubble to go home to your bubble. Make your own bubble as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you get home, okay, take your clothes off, wash your hands, maybe take a shower, clean yourself off. Make your own bubble. Keep people out your house. You know, and they have the means to do all that. You know, make sure everybody is, you know, isn't sick. Everybody that goes out, make sure they wear a mask. Create your own bubble at work and at home. And I think if a lot of players stick to that protocol, the season should be fine. Okay. I think there'll even be fans at games. Not full capacity, but, you know.
That was my next question. You beat me to it. I was going to ask you about the attendance at games, because all sport, I mean, watching the NBA on TV isn't bad. It isn't terrible. And I've been to a ton of football games. Watching games on TV isn't terrible either. One of my goals is always to go to a Super Bowl, but as good as the Super Bowl is at home and I can do what I want, why I want to spend all that to go go there. But anyway, they talking about 20%, and usually I go to a game a year, but that might not be the case. You said, do you even think that they're going to have fans?
Mm-hmm.
What if they didn't have fans? How do you perceive that going? How do you perceive those games going?
I mean, you know, we done watched plenty of football together. Like, how often do we look at the fans other than when it's a touchdown?
Never.
Exactly. So I
somebody that's there, like that one time when I was in Tennessee and
oh yeah.
I was taking pictures, but y'all wasn't looking for me.
Right. I wasn't even looking for you. I just saw you. I'm like, that's something right there. Because I'm like, because I mean, full disclosure, I'm like, this dude down in Nashville, there ain't too many black folks down there. So if it's some black folks, if they flash some black folks, it's likely to be them. And I'd be damned if it was. I'm like, look at this. This is crazy. But no, you know what's funny about the whole fans at games thing? It's not going to be all cities. Yeah. There's going to be some cities that have fans and some that don't.
Yeah, that's going to be the weird thing. Right. So it's
like
where, yeah.
New York, they've already, I think, not the Bills, but the Jets and the Giants have already said until things change in New York, there is not going to be any fans. And like,
New York is huge, so yeah.
Right. And like the Browns haven't said anything about that. They've said they're going to try to get fans into the game, probably like you said, 20%. So that's going to be weird to see some cities with fans and some cities without. But you know, that's all because of the way the virus has been handled by those particular cities and states.
Yep. So that makes sense. Well, I won't ask you for your predictions. Like we said, it's like everything we said, and it's going to take forever to get started. But while we're talking about football, and then I kind of want to transition into your other love sport that I'm just super casual, baseball.
Baseball, yeah. My first sport love.
Right.
First sport event I ever been to was a baseball game.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You was always the one talking to me about baseball, dragging me to baseball and know more about baseball. I felt like I had to pay attention just so we could have something else to talk about, like in school and everything. So,
right.
Thank you for that. But like I was saying about baseball and then football, we just had the Washington football team change their name to the Washington football team now. And there's talk.
Oh, you about to pull me into this.
Yes, that's what I'm here for.
It's all good.
What do you think about our home team, Cleveland Indians, talking about changing their name?
Well, like I said, you know, baseball was my first love as a sport, as far as, you know, watching and going to and wanting to play, and my favorite players and stuff like that. Cause like I can remember my first favorite player was what was his name? Brooke, not Brooke Jacoby. And I can't remember his name.
Wasn't too favorite then.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like it couldn't have been too favorite, but it was when they used to wear the Major League jerseys, the jerseys they wore in Major League.
Yeah.
But anyway, I cannot think of his name. That's gonna make me mad. It'll come back up. But
so you gotta come back.
But far as the Indians, I mean, it's a name that I grew up with. You know, grew up with Chief Wahoo and all that stuff. That you know, as you get older, you know what I'm saying, you get more hip, you know, to what is not necessarily the discriminatory, but is, you know, it's something that what is being portrayed, and if it's from a group of people that's a quote symbol of, and if they're offended, you know, that's not a good thing. But I've always been of the thought that if they go to different Native American groups and, you know, talk to them, and if they say, look, this is very offensive, y'all need to get rid of it, it sucks, it's terrible, it's bullshit, then they need to get rid of it. Do I want them to get rid of it? I don't know. Should they get rid of it if it's very offensive and, you know, people are offended by it, and not just you know, like me or white folks. If Native Americans are very offended by it, well, get rid of it.
Okay.
I don't like it so much that I'll be mad if it's gone.
Yeah, that's what some people like. Keep the team.
Like I won't be mad. I won't be like, the Cleveland Spiders. What is a damn spider? I kill spiders. Like I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna be on it like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if Native Americans want to go, get rid of it.
Well, the way I feel about it, certain teams like the Redskins, that was
very offensive.
Yeah, so that's why I even said the Washington football team, even though that's what they are now. And when they started losing that dough, that's when they decided we gonna do something else. But they
money will always make you change your mind.
Like the Braves, I don't see the Braves, but like I said, I'm not Native American, but I don't see the Braves as being a horrible team. The Blackhawks in hockey here in Chicago, they said they keeping theirs. I haven't looked up exactly what a Blackhawk is, but
ain't that's the name of a tribe though, ain't it?
I would be telling you a falsity if I said I knew that for sure. I know it's a street here. Blackhawk is a street, but the guy, the image is not. It's just a brown guy with a headdress. The Illini, they used to be something. They changed their name. They used to have a big Indian culture down there in Champaign, Illinois. Chicago was named after a stinky onion by Indian people. I'm kind of getting off, but the Cleveland Indian, and they it's like they've known it's offensive for a while. They just been trying to slowly turn down this volume because they came out with that hat with the eye. I hated that hat with the eye.
And the Block C.
The Block C, right. And the Block C was decent, but it's not definitive enough. It don't stand out. I mean, if you want something to stand out, you're gonna have the Chief Wahoo. But it's a red dude with big smiling teeth. It's not
right.
It's not cool. So I know they having I still listen to the radio there, and I hear they having different contests. I think I like the Gladiators or the Avengers, or for some reason I like team names that don't have the S, like the Heat.
And yeah, you can't do that though. But I always think that is weird.
That's why I like it, because it's weird. I like teams.
I mean, the Heat work because it's Miami. You know, you think of Miami, you think of hot weather. So Heat, that works.
It's tornadoes and thunder come with tornadoes in Oklahoma City. So.
Well, what I've said, I've thought that, you know, if we are going to change the name, and let's talk to the and I always try to not call Native Americans Indians because that stupid idiot Christopher Columbus thought he was in India, and that's why they're called Indians.
Exactly.
You know, I don't like to use the term.
That's another reason.
Right. I don't like to use the term Indians when speaking about Native Americans. I like to, say Native Americans. That's like I don't like to say Obamacare. I call it the Affordable Care Act. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that they should talk to Native Americans and maybe get a name from them. Maybe name the Cleveland Indians after the name of one of their tribes that were in Ohio at that time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a route that they could go down. I think that's a good idea. Or maybe, and keep them with the name Indian, even though, like I said, Native American, and keep them with the name Indian. Maybe take the name of a chief that was, very popular in Ohio from one of the tribes back in the day.
Because I feel like at the beginning, it probably was something like commemorative, like, hey, this is what's up. Hey, you guys,
right?
Something to, but it just turned into something else. I turned on Disney Plus the other day and I put on some old movie. And like before the movie even comes on, it says may have some offensive, some past dated images, so be careful watching this. But
they had to do that with a lot of Disney stuff, like when Disney first started making movies and cartoons and stuff, man, it was some stuff in there like that completely went over our heads when we was kids,
right?
But now that we're adults, it's like, man, what is this?
Yeah, like the jive talking crows, the
yeah, all that kind of stuff, man. It's like, whoa, they put it in there and didn't,
they put the right balances. Well, it didn't slip past everybody because there was people out there saying this is not what's up, but it was so.
Right, but as kids, we didn't know.
Exactly. Our minds was just like,
and our parents didn't even tell us. They just put it on and say, be quiet and watch it.
Yeah. So, exactly. Well, those were all my subjects I wanted to hit you with. I wanted to, like I said, talk to you about politics, sports, our major things, our friendship, just let everybody know. And then, especially, like I said, you being a union worker, being an auto worker, that's absolutely what's up.
I'm about to get a raise.
Well, don't tell too many people. They might be coming to see you after, but congratulations. But you also just had a new baby that you got out here.
I mean, she ain't new.
She knew the podcast land.
she about to be 2 in a few months.
Well, she beautiful. She mean though, but
oh yeah, she mean. She don't like new people.
Yeah, she.
But that's how her daddy is though. I don't like new people. You go have to grow on me before I like you.
That's and you know what? That's what's so funny about you. Period. Like we was talking the other day. You said high school and growing up, you was all over the place, and now you like all chill, and now I'm like the opposite because like I remember when Facebook came out, you was actually in school, and I'm like, hey, you should get this Facebook. No, I ain't getting that. Now you like the #1 Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok.
Oh, I know no TikTok. I ain't doing the TikTok. I ain't gonna do the TikTok.
But you on all of them now. Oh,
I know you at set your topics, but before we go, we got to talk about. I want to talk about two things. You kind of touched on one earlier, but
go ahead. Hey,
let me talk because I don't want to. We don't want to talk people's heads off, and people be like, "Man, these dudes talk too much. They love their voice." And actually, I don't like the way my voice sounds. So no, I do not love my voice. I do love it. I do love to talk, but you touched on this earlier with the Herman Cain thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thing that's pretty sad because we can't let our politics let a virus kill us. We can't let where we fall on the side, be it the left or the right, kill us. And unfortunately for Herman Cain, that's what happened. especially with him being an older black man. I think he was 74.
Yeah, I think that's what I read.
And right, and like, you know, because of his politics, and it's sad to say, he's dead. Because and you know, with all that the info out there about the COVID-19 coronavirus, they say it takes 2 weeks for you to really get sick if you get sick. It takes 2 weeks for it to like really get in you, and if you test positive and blah blah blah. 2 weeks after he left the Trump rally, he was hospitalized with the coronavirus.
Talking tough from the rally too, like
right. Yeah,
no mask. It's like, dude, why?
and like his Twitter account was posting that the coronavirus was a hoax and it was something from the left and it was the flu. Masks we're fed up. We don't want to wear masks. And you see him sitting at the Trump rally with no mask on, around a bunch of other people not wearing masks. And about a month later, the man is dead.
That's very unfortunate. And
now,
you shouldn't have had to pay with his life. Like you said, politics shouldn't make you have to pay with your life.
Exactly, because it's ridiculous, and it's a lot of that going on. Where you fall on the side, on what side you fall on, a lot of people are dying just because of where they fall when they don't have to die. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen this thing. It said 85% of Democrats believe in wearing a mask. 59% of Republicans believe in wearing a mask. So that's basically 1 out of every 2 people, a little bit over. And that's ridiculous. Because like we was talking about earlier, how the virus just continues to spread here. The reason it spreads here because everybody not wearing masks.
Right.
All them other countries, especially the Asian countries, they're used to wearing masks. And, you turn on the TV, all they do is wear masks. You know what I'm saying? But we refuse to do it because we feel like it takes away our freedom. But you can be free if you wear a mask.
And it's people on TV. I saw about a week ago people out at the beach in Indiana. Like, I ain't wearing no mask. We ain't got to wear a mask. I ain't wearing no mask. For me, and I talk about this on another episode of my podcast, like the flu shot thing or like the flu. And people act like they're doing it for themselves. Like, I can still get it. Yes, you still can get it. But you're pretty much doing it for everybody else that might have a compromised immune system. That's the same thing with getting the flu shot. You're not getting the shot to not get the flu. You're getting a shot to not pass the flu on to other people. But it's a government conspiracy.
All that nonsense.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not trying to say get it. I'm just saying.
Right. That's like I was talking to, one of our mutual friends, and I, flying all over the country, whatever. And I'm like, you don't need to go there. You don't need to do that. But I'm out here. Like, okay, I wear my mask, but well, what about, when you don't wear your mask? I know you don't wear your mask all the time. I know how you get down. Yeah. I'm like, well, if I get it anyway, I don't care. If I die, I die. And, and you know what I'm talking about, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you looking at it from the wrong perspective.
You're looking at
it's not. You looking at it selfishly.
Exactly.
If you get it and you die, okay, you die, but okay, you gonna pass it to somebody else that don't want to die.
Well, my thing is, what if you get it and you fine and you pass it to one of your kids, or you pass it to your mama, or you pass it to your daddy, and they not able to the same way, and you gave it to them? How you gonna feel about that?
Right. So that's I'm in lockdown mode, man. My mother watches my kids when I'm at work and my wife at work. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to put her in jeopardy if I walk in the house to pick up my kids. Yeah. Her, my aunts, my uncle, I'm not going to put them in jeopardy because I want to be selfish. I want to be selfish for them.
There you go. But
You know what I'm saying? I want to be selfish for them.
at the end of the day,
And
it's the mask. I mean,
it's just the mask.
who gets hurt from a man? And then they say, well, the cloth one don't work. The N95, the only one that's any good, and this and that. If it makes somebody feel comfortable, if it cuts down any type of way, why am I gonna say no to helping?
Right. I mean, like, take me for instance. I work in the auto plant. Dude, I got to wear a mask. I got to wear a mask for 7 hours and 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
That's a
So
long.
if I could wear a mask for over 7 hours, you could wear a mask and go to the grocery store for 30, 45 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And look, I don't want to wear a mask. Like, none of us wants to wear a mask, but we have to wear a mask. It's, it's two different things. Nobody wants to have to do this, but if you want, the country to get to a better place as far as this virus goes, put your damn mask on. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was in contrast to Herman Cain was John Lewis.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a great topic.
Like, when you in school and stuff, you read about stuff, you hear stuff. But I think the best education comes for people that want to be educated, for people that want to be learned, comes after, and you just finding out information. Like, I don't think we learned all that much about John Lewis when we were in high school, middle school.
No, not at all.
Or even for me, college. But I do think that's when I first became aware of him, was when I was in college, because of the field that I was studying to become a part of. But I watched the service while I was at work. I probably wasn't supposed to be, because I'm supposed to be working, but got to be multi-talented, do two things at once. But it was a good service, and that guy, and I post about this on my Facebook and sometimes on my Twitter as well. Like, if that guy is willing to get beat damn near to death for you to be able to have your right to vote, for you to be able to have your right to not be discriminated against, for him to fight, for different people, for women, for gay folks, for all these different type of causes, and for him to, have done that his whole career, and in his earlier life, for him to do that, doing with the Freedom Riders, and getting ketchup poured on them and milkshakes poured on him while he's sitting at the counter, getting spit on, getting cigarette butts put out on them, all for you to have your freedoms that you enjoy today. For him to stand up against the coronavirus as well, because you see him out in public towards the end of his life, he'd have a mask on.
Yep.
And for him to, have led a life that he had led, and for you to say you don't want to vote, or you don't vote, or your vote doesn't matter, or voting is for sheep. This man risked his life for you to be able to vote. And I think it's important that, people get registered to vote, and that people vote, because, like I was telling somebody, my people, and when I say my people, that don't just include black people. That includes white folks too, because there was a lot of white folks down for the cause. For my people, and when I say my people, I mean my people of this country. For my people that are going through all that just for me to be able to vote and have rights, why wouldn't I honor them by being registered to vote and vote?
That's a very strong message. I really feel like that message needs to go out to younger people, because a lot of time these younger kids, they don't even know who these people are. I mean, we're losing a lot of our heroes, and they're turning into different icons and different figures now. Sometimes you only be able to read about them in a book. I mean, we're in the information age, so everything is on YouTube. Everything is a podcast. You can watch anything on demand anywhere. So my thing is to pass that message on to young people as well. So get them going on that same track,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
that's where it, I don't want to say that's where it starts, but that's where it's going to end. I mean, we just got to keep on passing down knowledge instead of passing down ignorance. So,
My man, I like that. Pass down knowledge, not ignorance. Hey, that need to put that on a T-shirt.
all
Put
right.
that on a T-shirt.
So
Make it a meme or something.
I can do that because, like I said, I'm a designer right now. I got.
Pass down knowledge, not ignorance. I like that. That was dope.
Of course, you're gonna come back. You're gonna be on all the time. You're gonna get your show up and going and being
Oh yeah,
more. So
I got to learn all this Zoom stuff so I can, get this on and cracking.
we're gonna cross-platform talk, because next time we talk, I want to talk about The Wire, the show you told me to watch. I'm like, it's too slow. Then I watched it. It's the best show in life. After I did watch it, I think I watched The Wire like 7 times, the whole thing. And I get mad when people bomb on season 2. You just don't get
Well,
it.
you gonna have to give me a heads up so I can, start watching it again.
Get some rewatching in. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. And another show that I thought was pretty excellent, especially on a race issue, was Watchmen. And I remember I told you to watch. You said you ain't watched it yet, so that's a.
No, I watched it.
Oh, you finished it?
Oh yeah, I finished that.
What'd you think, like race wise?
I mean, it was pretty good. It was an accurate representation. And it seemed like the Emmys thought so as well. They got 24 nominations, the most nominations of any show on TV.
My man, pop culture Troy.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I got it all, baby.
I know you do. That's what I'm saying. You got TMZ.
I got it all.
About that show is like 6 months too early. They had the masks on. The police officers all had the masks on the show. Now we all got the masks on.
No, well, not all of them.
We're supposed to have the masks on, but yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, Troy, thank you very, very, very much. I usually ask some people, like, when they're getting ready to go off, is anything positive they want to say at the end. You kind of did that on your own with the whole voting thing. So,
well, I want to say again, vote.
Okay.
Find out when your registration, when it's up. A lot of states, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks before the actual election. Find out about your absentee ballots. Find out if your state, your city, or whatever, your county will allow you to vote by mail. But regardless, vote, 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 vote. I'm all about voting. Every day I post vote on my social media.
I'm with that. Well, I'm gonna do my little positive thing now, and it has to do with you. I don't want to try and one up voting. That's what's up. Especially, like I said, get them young people out. But the one thing about me and your friendship and us, and the thing I think is so awesome and live and dope, your son and my son, they like met each other at the same age as we met each other. And we live in 2 different cities, but these dudes play on video games and talk to each other like they friends. And like, we came to Cleveland, and all Dylan wanted to do was like, I want to go over my cousin Kellen house. Like, he was in the back seat smiling the whole time while we was driving there. That's what he called everybody who real close to him, his cousin. So I know Kellen been off the game because he was acting up, but gotta let him live eventually. So So
Oh yeah, hey, he'd have been off over a month. I'm gonna let him back on eventually.
so they can get back on there. But that's my positive thing. They was over there dunking on each other, fouling each other, pushing each other. That was. Remember, you came back from college that one time we was playing. You're like, man, you got dirty when I left because I was fouling you and everything else. Had some new D tricks, but yeah, that's my positive thing for the end. So
that's what's up.
All right, Troy. Until the next time, I'll talk to you later. Okay, I ain't cutting it off. I just stopped the Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So I'm, gonna say bye to you officially. Thank you very much for indulging me and coming on and,
No problem, man. It was fun, dude.
Yep. So like I said, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna get it going, have some more topics. A couple of my other people conked out on me, so that's why I'm doing this one at home. I usually do it at a studio. So whenever we can start traveling, we'll do that. And I'll show you how it goes.
All right, that's what's up.
All right. Tell the family I said hi.
Will do, sir. Tell yours as well.
All right.
What's up, Dylan?
Hi. All right. See ya.
Hey, do a flip for me.
He can't flip no more. You see how big he is? He can't flip no more.
He need to get the flipping so he can lose some of that weight, that COVID weight.
Look, he moving it. Can you see him?
Yeah, I can see him.
Oh, he do it.
Hey, you said he couldn't do it.
He surprised me.
Hey, he did it with no hands too.
I know, man.
He still got it in him.
Yep, he gonna have to, like you said, he got that COVID weight on him.
Did y'all ever get a bigger pool? Get a pool?
No, we ain't get a pool. We just we got that trampoline and that water hose to go on it. So no, we ain't get the pool.
No, okay. Yeah. All right, I'm about to get ready to go eat.
All right, thanks again.
No problem. Hey, when you gonna put that up?
I'm supposed to go there the 1st, and they usually put it all up for me. So probably next Tuesday.
All right, well, let me know when it's up.
All right.
All right, sir.
Yep.